Hello all! What's this? Yet another Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturday? 3 in one day? A trifecta? A triple play? Yes, that's what you're getting today with Crystal Clans. This one is going to be a kind of a discussion of an after-action report. Just got done playing this with my youngest. But also a little bit about gameplay. If you watch the earlier videos, which are down below, did an unboxing of the base game and did an unboxing of all the different expansions. Didn't really cover gameplay that much, so I'll try to cover a little bit more on gameplay. Again, this isn't a rules video, so don't use this to learn how to play the game. In the game that we just played, my youngest was playing the Flower Clan, and their special ability is Sleep, which allows them to negate the combat factor of the top unit. And I was playing the Water Clan, which has Flank, which allows them to attack the bottom unit of a squad. So that kind of, conflicting type approaches. One eliminates the top, and the other one attacks from the bottom unit. So my daughter ended up winning 4-2. Once she got 3, it was kind of an uphill battle, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to come back, but I tried. We did the typical tactic of I took the crystal zone in front of me, she took the crystal zone in front of her, and then we fought over this one in the middle for the rest of the game. One of the Flower Clan's special abilities is to kick a unit off, or combat abilities is to make the unit kind of retreat or move to a vacant area. So you kind of lose your momentum and have to spend more time to activate to try to get back. She did that a couple times, and that really threw a loop in my plans. The Water Clan have some psychic abilities. They can knock units back to the home base, which are these 2 home bases here. I really just could never get off of dead center on this one. And she took command of the board early and was able to hold on to it much better than I was. So let's talk a little bit about how you play. You have this really interesting initiative track here, which basically that is kind of the tug of war. The decisions you make on how you use your initiative determines what you can do during the turn, but it also determines what your opponent's going to do on their turn. Basically, you have this little player reference that sits here that tells you what you can do on your turn. You can summon, and that's units out of your hand. She ended up with no cards. In fact, the last combat, she pulled blind. That was an interesting thing. I had 2 cards in my hand. But you summon, and there's a summoning cost, and that number there is the number of initiative. When you summon something, that's how much you go on their track, and you can summon them up to 3 a turn. You normally summon in your home area, and then you have to move out from there. There are different clans that allow you to summon in somewhat different ways, but the basic way you normally summon from the home area out of your hand, and you can do up to 3. You can activate, which means you can reorder units within a unit, or within a squad. I can't remember what they're called, but you have this group here, or a squad of a maximum of 3, and you can reorder. And it makes difference on what the order is, because the top unit, its defense will be taken out first, then the next, then the next when you do a combat. Also, their special abilities, like the Sleep ability, negated the top unit's ability. So whoever was on top, they were going to be negated if they're fighting against the Sleep unit. And then with the Water Clan, they attack from the back, so they could attack the bottom unit. So their defense of the bottom unit was kind of important. So the order makes a difference. Also, the one on top, you get to use their special ability. Here I had Flank and Clone was the special abilities on the top unit there. So the order makes a difference for their combat and defense, but also makes a difference on their special abilities as well. So you can reorder, you can move. Move means you take the highest activation. So here I have a 1, a 2, and a 1. So I take the 2, move up 2 on the initiative towards the opponent's side. Then I can move 1 area. If I wanted to do that again, if I had initiative left, as long as you're on this, not to this edge of the blue, you can keep doing initiative. Then I can do it, move again if I wanted to. Then you can also do battle. When you battle, you can only do battle when you're in the hex or in a space with another unit or another squad. And here, like I could do a battle here, and then each side would draw a card from their hand or pull a card from their hand. They get to pick it unless they don't have any cards left, and they draw blind, and this is the symbol that would be used reference on that on the opponent's battle card, and then I would take whatever symbol if they did the orange symbol, then I would get +3 combat. If they did the green symbol, I would get +10 to combat. And it's whatever symbol they pick, whatever they pick. There's kind of a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors kind of, but you don't know really what effect you're going to get until you see the other sides. And those cards typically go into the discard pile. However, there might be some symbols on here where they get to pull it back in their hand, or you get the option of pulling it back into your hand. So the combat systems is kind of an interesting system, because also by playing that card, you're more, unless you get to pull it back in your hand based on a symbol, like this symbol right here has that, pull it back into the hand there, then you're going to lose that card. So that's a unit that you're not going to be able to cast or deploy out of your hand, because it'll be in your discard pile. And the way you want to do battle, because you basically most of the battles taken on these crystal zones, you have to be the sole occupant of 2 out of the 3 crystal zones in a turn in order to score. So as it ended up here, she was controlling this zone and that zone, and then by doing that, you can pick a card, a crystal card. You have to control 2 out of the 3 alone, not having another unit in your zone. And then you get to pick a crystal card. When you pick a crystal card, then you're going to give them that much initiative. So like this is a 9. So then that's how you get the big initiative swings. And it's a nice catch-up mechanic, because when the other side picks a crystal, even though they're starting to win the game, they or might be ahead of you, you get some consolidation, and you can catch up, because you're going to get a lot of initiative with which to use to try to catch back up on your turn of the game. And it's how you use it. And that's really the core of the game. Once you get 4 crystals, you win the game immediately. Another way to get crystals is if you move into the one side's home area and you attack, you get to discard the amount of the attack in their zone. So like if this one were to attack, that'd be 4. They would have to discard 4 cards. And then why is that important? Well, when you go to draw from your draw pile and there's no cards there, then you have to reshuffle your cards that are discarded. And every time you have to reshuffle, your opponent automatically gets to draw a crystal for free, or score. They call it scoring. They don't have to control 2 of the zones. They get a crystal card for free. And again, the game is over the minute one side gets 4 crystal cards. So that's another strategy, is bull rushing the other side's home zone and just trying to make them discard their deck. I mean, there's a lot of territory to get through, and plus that's where they summon or mostly bring their units into play. So it's going to be probably well defended most of the time. You can then score is when you score a crystal, but again, it gives them a lot of initiative. And then whenever the initiative goes over the blue, then it's the other side's turn. So so your timing of how you want to do your actions and the order of you want to do your activations, what you want to do on your turn will really make a difference of how you want to end up, or how much initiative you want to end up giving the other side, and letting it be on their turn. Replenish means you can draw back up to 5. You draw from your cards, your draw pile up to 5, and that costs 3 initiative automatically. Now, that's the only way you get new cards in your hand. So if you're like, my daughter was out of cards at the end of the game, she would have to do a replenish action in order to do anything. But I mean, she had 4 crystals, so she didn't need to do that. You can invade. Invade is that part where you're in the other side's home base, and you do an attack, and they make them draw cards and discard from their draw pile. Again, you're trying to get them to get to the point of reshuffling. Well, that's an invade action, and that costs 3 initiative. That's your actions. You got 5 available actions. And then this is the battle, how you do the battle, and then you got the battle order. Again, there's kind of a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors there. And that's it. That is your, that's the game. You just keep doing that until someone gets 4 crystals. And again, there's not a set turn. It's all based on, these initiatives, what you do and what you pay. Summoning is this amount here, and that's going to give up crystals the other side. Scoring gives up that many crystals to the initiative the other side, and it's a tug and war back and forth until someone gets 4 crystals. So that's a quick summary of the game. Again, don't necessarily play the game based on that, but that's the game. The crystals themselves give you some special abilities. Sometimes when you gain the crystal, that gives you a special ability. Sometimes, both these are when you gain the crystal. Some of these are when it's a gain the crystal. A lot of them are when you gain the crystal. It gives you something. Sometimes the crystals allow you, at the beginning of the battle, you may remove this crystal from the game. If you do, destroy your opponent's entire squad. Yeah, they are called squad. But then you would flip this over, so you wouldn't be able to use that crystal again. You get to use it once. So it's sometimes have a conditional ability, and then when you use it, it's gone. You still have the crystal for counting for scoring purposes, but you can't use the special ability again. And that's the game. As I said, the initiative track to me is reminiscent of Fighting Formations, which was a GMT game designed by Chad Jensen. And that flow, that tug of war back and forth and making decisions on initiative is very cool. There was an old Lord of the Rings game, I can't remember, it was a collectible card game that had that same kind of initiative or back and forth about how much you do on your turn is going to dictate what the other side gets to do on their turn. And it was this constant back and forth tug of war and initiative. I like that. That's a neat play here. The way these squads are laid out, how you order them, and who gets to use their special ability, and then the highest initiative or initiative cost makes a difference on how you can move them around or activate them. I should say the highest activation cost, and then attacking the front or the back. There's special abilities there, but normally you would add up the entire combat, and so like this would have 17 combat, and it could just start mowing through another side's defense until you run out of combat points. And it is simultaneous, so the other side gets to attack as well. So it could, really be you could really decimate each other in an attack based on how you have your combat set up. But these special abilities really factor in and play into the game as well. This is just 2 of the clans. There's 6 that come in the base box, and then there are 14 at least, I think, that you can pick up as expansions, and they all play different. They all have special abilities and different assortment of their combat and defense and activation. So they really play very differently. And their combat plays differently as well. Whatever the combat abilities on the combat card plays differently as well. So anyway, that's what I have for you. Oh, this card out here, this was knocked out of the game by I think one of the crystals that my daughter got knocked one of my units out of the game early. But as I said, there's a lot of different play and special abilities that change up the state of the board. But the general combat is relatively straightforward, and it really, again, you're really fighting over those 3 areas is really the key to the game. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Hope you enjoy this. I'd like to know your thoughts on this game. Do you like playing this? Is this something it's not enough of a horror game, so you don't care about this stuff, or it's fantasy, so you don't care about this stuff? Love to hear about that. This along with Summoner's War, which is another Plaid Hat game, are really good games in my opinion. Really great 2-player battle games where you kind of really get in and make some really tough decisions early on. This one is a little bit tighter space with the 3 crystal zones. Summoner's War is a little bit more open-ended with the open-up board and how you move units around. But this one is a nice decision space, and how they do things in the initiative track, I think, really blend nicely into a very tight game. This didn't take that long to play. This took 30 minutes, I think, and this was her first time playing it, so it didn't, and she wiped the floor with me, so it didn't take that much time at all. So anyway, love to know your thoughts on this. Thanks for stopping by, spending some time with me, especially if you spent time with all 3 of my Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturdays today. That's awesome. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Love to hear your thoughts, and most importantly, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.